It's not cold, it's not too dark, and they said it was going to rain, but I don't think it's raining yet. Come on. Who's that out there? Come on, Rex. Steve. 8:30 in the morning. We are lazy bones this morning, aren't we, T-Rex and Steve? Yes. It's a Friday, April 4th, opening day at Fenway Park, and it looks pretty good. They said it was supposed to rain this morning in southern New England. How do they get paid for being wrong all the time? Direct deposit every other Friday. That was what I used to say. Used to be payday. Now it's just another volunteer to do the weather day because it's my hobby and I love looking at the sky. It's altocumulus. Got a plane coming in over a barge out there, and I got my wireless microphone on so I can zoom in without losing my audio. Planes are landing toward the west. That means the air is coming from the west, and it just happens to be at all levels of the atmosphere. It was supposed to rain, but it's not raining, and it doesn't look like it is going to rain here. And I put down the grass seed yesterday thinking it was, so even the weatherman makes mistakes. It's the warmest start we've had. Did I look at the thermometer? I think I looked at it, but I didn't talk about it. 62 degrees. That's 20 degrees warmer than yesterday. Here, top of Mount Washington is 20 degrees colder than yesterday, so technically we're in cold air advection. Here's the regional temperature roundup at 7 o'clock this morning as the sun was coming up. Boston was 64 degrees, the warmest start of the year. And since then, it's actually come down a little bit. And Brownville, Maine was 32 degrees. I think it snowed a little bit in Brownville, Maine last night, but I can't document it. So I think our streak of days in a row with snow has ended in the Northeast. Although there is this really cool webcam up there. The Brownville Deer Pantry is closed for the season. That only happens in the winter. But Ryan has a bird cam there. And strangely, there were no birds in it this morning. But you can see there was a dusting of snow last night in central Maine. So could argue for 14th day in a row of snow. And temperature profile in Mount Washington. Yesterday it was 42 degrees in the afternoon. And last night the cold front came through. The wind gusted to 109 miles per hour around midnight. And the temperature has since gone from 42 to 20. And so the temperature's gone down 20 degrees at the summit of Mount Washington. And at the bottom, it's still 40. So we keep turning the air right side up and upside down. But that's a 20-degree gradient between the top and the bottom. So cold air advection. That expression, April showers, has to do with when you have cold air up in the sky and you can get these bubbling cumulus clouds and a chance of a shower. That's not really the kind of weather we're in just yet, though. The big picture says that there was a front that went by. And let's see, I'll show you the northeast quadrant, though, surface analysis from 9Z, which is 5 a.m. And there's a 1027, 1026 high over Lake Superior, and it's not a very cold high, it's just a cool high. And the low that went north of New England went way north of New England. We had a wave on the front yesterday, and that was about 1,000 millibars. So it's not the strongest gradient in the world, but there were some possible wind lift hold issues at some of the ski resorts this morning. But the wind is letting up, and the temperature is going to be okay. And the satellite image shows the clearing there just north of Vermont. So I think the sun is coming out for a pretty decent afternoon on the slopes, kind of classic spring skiing. Stowe decided to open the lifts an hour late this morning for some re-grooming, but the temperature should get just above freezing on many of the ski slopes. So not a bad day, and the wind is going to be decreasing. Fridays have been the days for the strongest winds, but that wasn't really the case this week. I think yesterday was more windy. All right, let's take a little break here and watch this colorful barge accompanied by a tugboat going by. And that tugboat is Justice, I do believe. All right, break is over. Steve, what do you see? Any birds in there? You definitely can tell by the way the tail is going. And the plane's coming in. So this is really dynamic spot to watch weather and heavy equipment. Speaking of heavy equipment, let's just take a quick run over here. The forecast for today is pretty nice, so it's pretty quiet. Jim with the long boom, we'll see what kind of grading he did yesterday. It looks like he's waiting on some new dirt to come plowing down the road, so we'll probably see that. So here's the Euro 10-day forecast meteogram for Boston. And today if you don't get the morning temperature right, you're not going to get the afternoon temperature right. The meteogram says it was going to be 54 this morning and about 62 this afternoon. Well, we were already at that high temperature, so I think there's a chance that Boston gets to its first 70-degree day of the season. Norwood got to 72 back on March 16th. 3 weeks ago, we did have a 70-degree day, including at my house, but it's going to be close for Fenway Park, but the sun should be breaking through the clouds for a nice afternoon. And then the wind shifts. That high that's a week high goes north of us. Tomorrow the air comes in from the east, and all of a sudden we're back down in the lower 40s with some light rain possible. And then the wind comes back around from the southwest, and then Sunday all of a sudden we're back up to near 60, but also with a shower, and it even shows a thunderstorm there on Sunday morning. And then keep on going. It's getting colder on Monday, and what's that? A snowflake on Tuesday with that Arctic front that we've been talking about so much, and that's for Boston, of course. That's Boston right there. Fenway Park is right in there. You can just barely make out the lights on top of Fenway. Can you hear the songs? Oh, that's a cardinal. Can you hear the cardinal? Probably not, because I got my noise-canceling microphone on. I'm going to go to the NAM and show, well, we got to show the big picture radar, Tim. Show the big picture lightning. No, lightning, Tim. And once again, it's Oklahoma with the heavy-duty lightning. And it's broken across Tennessee and Kentucky, and then just south of New England. Precipitation is just south of New England. And then here it is on the radar. And wow, it almost looks like almost the entire state of Kentucky is under a flash flood warning this morning. So day after day of these severe storms and heavy rains taking the toll. And the Severe Storm Prediction Center says it's another major severe weather outbreak, especially near Arkansas today. National advisories, watches, and warnings. There's a winter storm warning in New Mexico and south central Colorado. Tiny little winter storm warning in Montana. And that severe weather threat, eastern Oklahoma and Arkansas, and all those flood warnings in Kentucky. And most of that action is going to miss and or weaken before it gets to New England over the next couple days. Next week, the stakes go up a little bit for us, and it's more in the winter department. Here's the NAM high res, and that rain that was supposed to be over southern New England is south of New England this morning. The front moved faster. It was more sheared out. That's my excuse. And it's a nice afternoon with the increasing sunshine and temperature in the 30s and 40s lower elevations north, 50s central, and 60s south. At the south coast, we're probably not going to see too much sunshine. Tonight, the blue line, that 540 line, doesn't really make it into New England, so that cold enough for snow line is staying away, but there is some inversion action and radiational cooling tonight, so a lot of us, especially in northern New England, are going to get somewhat frosty and foggy overnight tonight, and that'll set up the snow a little bit. And then here comes the next batch of precipitation. Warm front. Ahead of the warm front, though, the wind comes in from the southeast, so low-level chill. All of a sudden, the inversion is back, and that's rain about 9, 10 o'clock in the morning. Rain and elevation snow, and sleet is purple, and red is freezing rain. Another batch of wintry mix going across northern New England tomorrow with just a few rain showers in southern New England. Looks like low pressure is going to go just north of Burlington, Vermont tomorrow afternoon. And the precipitation, that wintry mix, looks like it should ease late in the day. So the best part of tomorrow is going to be the first runs in the morning and then late in the day, but who wants to go out there at 4 o'clock? And then tomorrow night, cold air advection is moving into northern New England. That rain is shifting into southern New England, and maybe with a thunderstorm around here in southern New England, so some downpours possible first thing Sunday. But no, northern New England now, there's cool air advection coming in, but it's not really a fast refreeze, so the precipitation looks like it's going to end, and Sunday ends up being a pretty nice day on the ski slopes. And I'm not saying that because they pay me. I'm saying that because I want to be credible, and I don't want people to cancel the plans, although Sunday afternoon is normally a travel time, but I think the skiing is going to be pretty nice, and you may see me up there. And then this thing goes out to 2 o'clock only on Sunday afternoon, sorry. And so there's the wet weather in southern New England at that point, and dry weather in northern New England. 2 o'clock Sunday, as far as that NAM high res goes, last night's run. And then we can just go right to take a break to look at Steve looking over the cliff. Not much going on there. And let's go to the Euro now. Oh, gull coming right at us. I break for birds, everyone knows that. Gulls get a bad rap. I think they are beautiful. I love watching the gulls. Like listening to the gulls. There's a yearling. Herring gulls. You know, there's no such thing as a seagull. They're all just different kinds of gulls. Most of ours are herring gulls. Back to the forecast. After we watch Jim put a little dirt down. Euro model. Some changes for next week. Again. Major change really late next week. So there's all that weather coming out of the Midwest and kind of stretching out, and nowhere near as bad here in New England. No severe weather, no flooding, but we are watering the gardens, and we're putting a little bit of ice and snow on top of the old ice and snow in northern New England tomorrow. And then Sunday, the blue lines. See all those blue lines? That's cold air trough forming in south central Canada, moving in our direction, but the red lines are still over southern New England, so rain just kind of ends here on Sunday. And then we have the same kind of thing we looked at yesterday where there's a Arctic front coming in to the Midwest more than New England. So that's a change from a few days ago. And as storms, one after another, missing New England to the south. And it looks like the Arctic front and that subtropical moisture to our south are not going to merge. But nevertheless, we have a deepening, looks like 998 millibar low on the Arctic front in northern New England, producing snow on Tuesday. There's no longer a northern instability trough, but we didn't really think that was going to happen. But there are heavy amounts of snow, especially northern New Hampshire and northern Maine on Tuesday night into early Wednesday, as the 510 thickness just barely gets in here. And then that's, where's that 1038 high on Thursday and Friday? It's not there anymore. So that next week, second half of next week, keeps on changing. Then the blue lines are lifting out, so we do get a refreeze, maybe some ice on our bucket next Wednesday morning before warmer air advection comes in next Thursday and Friday. And then the storm that was supposed to be over the mid-Atlantic and southeast from yesterday's model, not really supposed to be, but that's where it put it yesterday. I said it could probably move 500 miles, and sure enough, it did. Now this is next Sunday with the low-pressure system, not that strong, but right over New England. And there's not enough cold for snow, so I know most people don't mind that, but it could be a chilly nor'easter type situation for us next Sunday. And that's, I kept saying yesterday, March, because it felt like March. April 13, 14, next weekend. And again, that is a moving target, and there's still a chance that it could be cold enough that there's some elevation snow. And certainly it could move back out over the ocean. It could move back to the west, could move back to the south. So either way, next week looks pretty cold and pretty wet and or white. And I don't think I need to show the snowfall map. There's not an appreciable amount of snow. Probably an inch or two of rain off and on, as you'd expect in April. Boy, that's it for the weather. Done with the weather. The birds are really, I love crows too, you know that. They're all going in circles. T-Rex is going in circles now. T-Rex, what are those crows doing? I know. Don't you wish you could fly? What are they doing, Rex? Look at those sleepies in your eyes. What are they doing over there? Intrigued always by everything in the sky. I was frightened of clouds and birds and thunderstorms when I was a kid. And now I can't take my eyes off them. To cure a fear, just learn as much as you can about it. Yesterday was a fun, dynamic day with the sky and going from cold to warm. The windows fogged up again yesterday morning. Kept waiting on the sun, and it finally did come out. And Billy was supposed to send me some video of wing foiling from Pleasure Bay over there yesterday, and those gusty winds gusted past 35 miles an hour. But he said, oh, I guess I just got still shots. Well, thanks for the effort, Billy. Anyway, and our friend Josh Worth from northern Vermont has traveled to find snow. He said 13,000 feet. It's hurting me bad, but we got to launch this cornice yesterday in the San Juan Mountains. Freshies, they hiked for him. I'm not sure which mountain, but I knew he flew from Burlington, Vermont to Durango, Colorado. Thanks for sharing, Josh. We're a little jealous. There's an avalanche watch for your area for this weekend. We'll keep an eye on it. No avalanches back home. Just really curious why all the birds are circling over here. Jim, are you feeding the birds over there? Rex, what's going on with these birds? Oh, yeah, he's got something. So somebody put some food out over there. All right. Crow chow. I guess I should check the rain gauge real quick. Steve was out here while we were planting. Peas and lettuce went in there, so that's part of the more. Peas and lettuce are in the ground. I decided to leave this here regardless of whether it's alive or not, and I'm going to try and get the peas to sort of trellis up there. What is it? I'm not the one putting out the food. And in the rain gauge yesterday, after we had a 0.2 in the morning, we picked up another 0.22. So it's not like it hasn't rained at all. And I put down a bunch of seed, and here's the and more from yesterday. Work boat's going by. Work is play, play is work. Thanks for watching. This was a long one. Appreciate all the comments. I'll try and answer any questions, but I can't memorize those, but I'm going to try harder. Oh yeah, I remember one of them, Mondo, saying these videos help put him to sleep at night, and I'm the new David Allen Boucher. I had to look it up. David Allen Boucher put people to sleep on the radio for 40 years at 106.7 Magic. David Allen Boucher. Good night, everybody. I mean, wake up and watch the end more, and then fall asleep with the time lapse at the end. All right, we got some convection coming through. Not too windy here. Wind's mostly up in the sky. Water the grass. Did you put down seed? Did you put down fertilizer? Make way for the refuse truck backing up the hill. Busy here at the Weymouth Big Dig. Oh, now there's someone coming down the hill. We've got a traffic jam. 11:30. Now the recycling truck is here. A couple hours later, we're getting those foggy windows again because of the increasing humidity. The dew point's coming up past the 40s, and the temperature last night was in the 30s. And I just learned that we actually had a trace of snow and sleet in Boston last night around 10 o'clock. I didn't realize that when I did today's Out the Door. And now we're getting sort of warmer air advection from the west and the northwest as the Big Dig continues down there, and work boat goes out there, and the Big Dig over here. And it's so dark out that my light sensitive light is supposed to turn off during the day didn't turn off yet, but I see blue sky, so things are changing. Here comes the warm air advection. Oh, I brake for waves. Light mist continuing. Oh, cross waves. Love that. Look at that. Rogue wave. Bring on the sun. 2:40 p.m., 60 degrees, very humid. Looked like it was brightening for a minute, but now it feels like it's drizzling again from the southwest. Southwest is not your usual drizzle direction, but we still haven't really broken into the pure warm air. There goes Jim calling it a day. Another day of grooming way down there. And I just got a call from Billy Harrow, a friend of mine who wants to go wing foiling at Pleasure Bay. And he talked about decoupling. He asked me about decoupling that I talked about yesterday when the wind up in the sky is decoupled from the wind down near the ground. And we talked about the wind forecast at Pleasure Bay. And I looked at the guidance at 2 o'clock and it said the wind is supposed to be gusting 35 to 45 at 3 o'clock. And clearly that is not happening. Oh, song sparrow. And thank you viewers for the comment about the flicker. That was a flicker, which I think I probably had confused with the red-winged blackbird, or, red-headed woodpecker flicker. So lots of interesting things going on. And the sun probably is coming out tomorrow, which is now today, because the end more is from yesterday, Thursday, whereas today's video is Friday, and it's the Red Sox home opener. Woo-hoo. And of course, Carl and Donna did go skiing, and it turned into quite a nice afternoon with soft snow at Mount Mansfield. All right, everything's changing by the second. Everywhere you go. How many cats can you fit in one bag? I think Only one cat fits in the bag, Steve. Sorry. Good try, though. Steve, are you sulking because Mick got in the bag first? Or are you just patiently waiting your turn? His head was down on the ground like he was sulking. They all want to play. When one person plays with a toy, they all want to play with the toy. Is that sulking? Is that gloating? Yeah, Mitt relocated to underneath the dining room chair. And now whose turn is it? Hi. Live at 5 on the radio. A squirrel just ran across the picnic table. And our lovebirds were right over in the corner. They all went away. 61 degrees. Oh, it's almost turning sunny now. Clouds are really moving along, and the wind did end up gusting past 30 miles an hour at Logan Airport anyway. And there goes Steve, wondering where that squirrel went. It's over there somewhere. And when I say lovebirds, I mean the two mourning doves that always hang out right next to each other. Oh, there's one. So the other one's not far. Where is your mate? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It's a showdown. Bird wins. I had complete faith in the bird. I'll be back. There's the other one. Oh, there were 3 of them. So we got 2 couples. Yeah, Steve, they can't see you. You just stay really low. They'll never see you. Oh, and there's the sun. There's the birds. First glimpse of the sun today, really. It's going to be a really interesting time lapse. The clouds ripping by. What a difference. Yeah. What's going on down there? Plastic pollution. I thought they planted seed. Maybe there was some evidence, but I planted more seed. Lettuce and peas next. I know I said I would do that 3 weeks ago. Steve just made this noise like chirp, chirp, chirp. You know how Maine Coons make that chirp, chirp, chirp noise sometimes when they see a bird? I was looking back at you to see if you were looking back at me. 64, warmest of the day. Warm air advection. It's going to be warmer down near the ground tomorrow, colder up in the sky with colder air advection. And a little rain in the morning should be good for the seeds that we just put in, including on the ground right there. Almost time-lapse time. I think I might go down the beach though and check out what Jim's been doing a couple houses over. 6:53 p.m. Thursday, April 3rd, 2025. Status on the Weymouth Big Dig. There's our groomed slope. Got mud. What trout? This is not from the ocean. This is from the hill. It's been raining. So they were bringing in fill today. This is what the fill looks like. And this is what Jim did today with that long boom excavator. Grading out. Getting ready for hydroseed, I would guess. It's good for a time lapse now. Let's call it a day. Watch these clouds race by. The low clouds lifted, warm air advection, and we mixed it down this afternoon with some pretty good gusts. How was the foiling, Billy? Cape Cod. Always cooler on Cape Cod in the springtime. Some high quality leftover parts here. Probably playing for these, I would guess. So it's gonna be a ramp up from the beach. Also, I guess, onto the new concourse. Okay, thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.